It's time to get inventive, experimental, curious again. And that's the space that I'm in. And there's just something inside that is pushing me, pulling me, doing both at the same time. Something wants to be done through me. Something wants to be done through you. There are things that you know you love, maybe things you don't yet know you love, but that are waiting to be discovered, waiting to be implemented, to be shared with the world. And personally, I'm starting by using my voice, by using my words of encouragement, of empowerment, sharing that with whomever will listen. But I don't know, these days I have less and less of a desire, less and less of a fear associated with not following the paradigm, with not following the trend or doing what is quote unquote needed or necessary. There's something in me that's pushing back against what has been the status quo for so long. There's this resistance now. Something new wants to come to fruition. Something new wants to blossom. And I've had this moniker ever since I was a little girl, blossoming flower. And personally, I am so ready to blossom. I feel like I have been blossoming, but I'm ready to be a full bloom. And I know there's so many of us out there. I know you who are listening are feeling the same way. The same way. There's this restlessness in the air, this desire to veer off the beaten path, the worn out beaten path that has been laid out before so many of us, before the masses, the orthodox way of doing things. And now we're encouraged to entertain the unorthodox, the untrodden path, the unbeaten path. And it can be intimidating. You may not know the way to go about it, but we simply have to take one step at a time. And perfection isn't the goal. This perfectionistic way of viewing things, or this idea that we must be perfect before we start, before we move, is what holds so many of us back. This idea that we're supposed to be these perfect machines, outputting just the perfect results. These, like, we're just number making machines, like how jobs condition us to be. Just to be productive above all else. Productivity. We are the product in that old paradigm, a way of doing things. But in this new paradigm that's kind of coming forth within us all, it's never about perfection. It has never been about perfection. And I feel that, not just for me, but for you as well, that fear is slowly getting whittled away and being replaced with a fire. Now, the fire might feel aimless right now, but that doesn't mean that there's nothing to be done with it. Sometimes the way forward is just to make a decision. Not to be reckless necessarily, but sometimes maybe to be reckless. But the time for just questioning, endlessly living life in our heads, thinking up the hypotheticals, trying to calculate the future that we're not even participating in the present, we see just how unhelpful that may be, or just how little results that actually yields in our day-to-day. We watch other people live their lives, achieve their successes, those who took the leap of faith, those who stepped outside the box, who chose the unorthodox way. And that has us wondering, can we do the same? Now, there's a little voice in your head, perhaps one that you've been programmed with just like me, that says, oh, the people who succeeded are fundamentally different, fundamentally more talented, fundamentally, intrinsically better than. And that is not true. And we have to push past that programming, no matter how difficult, no matter how unrealistic or crazy it may seem. We have to choose to believe better about ourselves, to know and recognize better about ourselves that we are just as equally capable. Now, we may not all have the same upbringing, or we may not grow up in the same circumstances, and thus the path to success may be very different from person to person. It is very different from person to person, but that is the whole point of the journey, is finding your own unique path towards your success, towards your freedom. Stop living out other people's dreams, stop fulfilling, rather, other people's dreams, rather than living your own, creating your own, and recognizing that, okay, maybe I do deserve the same. And you do. So if you're kind of spinning your wheels right now and questioning, oh my goodness, I don't think I can do this for much longer, know that you're not alone. Know that this is not something only you're feeling. People all over the world are feeling the same way. This game has been played for too long. We have silenced our spirits for too long. Set to the wayside the things we truly love to do, the things that we truly came here to do, for too long. And it's truly beginning to wear on us. And it's time that we move in a direction. Not to have it all figured out, because that's also the programming again, suggesting that you have to have it all figured out. You have to have a complete and total game plan. Now, there's nothing wrong with having having the broad strokes, written out and thought up. But you don't need to meticulously plan out everything, because life seldom goes as planned. You kind of just have to go with it, see the results, recalibrate, rinse, repeat. And that's scary. That's very scary. And that's why so many of us kind of stay stuck, or we force ourselves to swallow the same hard pill each day of just going along to get along. And the thing is, that's not working so much anymore. The things we've been doing have been taking and are taking more than they've ever given. The lies you've been sold about how success is achieved, go to college, get a degree. Then you'll get a nice, well-paying job. Then you'll start a family. Then you'll have a house. That's not really people's stories anymore, right? What the prospects of buying a house now are so dismal. They say the average first-time home buyer now is the age of 40. 40 years ago, I'm sure that age was more than halved. So the world is completely different now. And we have to stop operating on old programs, old paradigms, old ways of living. Because now at this point, it's just surviving. And that's not enough for me anymore. And I know it's not enough for you. So this is your message. This is your opportunity, if you've been waiting for it, to even try one thing, to rebel in one way that makes your soul happy. One little change, just for today, just for the week. See how you feel. Follow that feeling, not thoughtlessly, of course. You don't want to be reckless, completely reckless, but it's time that we give ourselves a chance. It's time that we put ourselves first, pour into ourselves. You need to pour into yourself. I know you've been pouring into every other aspect of life because it's what you've been sold and told to do. It's what we all have been sold and told to do. And the return is so much less than you deserve. And that restlessness sitting in your gut or in your chest, wherever it sits in your body, it's there for a reason. It's not there to make you miserable. It's not there to feed depression or anxiety, though it can if it's ignored. Ultimately, it's there to show you that perhaps you're not in alignment, and your spirit knows it. You know it deep down on a cellular level that you're not in alignment with what it is you came here to do, with what it is you desire to do. And there's nothing wrong with having desires. I feel like as we get older, it's almost encouraged to beat down or to beat back, having desires, aspirations, like it's almost, oh, you're just green, wet behind the ears. Having desires, wanting things for yourself, ridiculous. And it's not. Just more programming. So yeah, that's my little message for the day. I definitely want to keep checking in more because I know there's someone out there that needs to hear this. So I am speaking to you, directly to you, because I relate to you completely. So keep your head up. Just make one small, different decision today. See how that makes you feel. Follow that feeling. And pour into yourself. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. But take care until next time.